hack this panel.
Hack the plan.
So my name is Tiffany. I am editor-in-chief of pophorror.com. And
I'm Sam. I help host Cinesylum with that guy over there. We're like a monthly horror. We show horror movies and we're fun. And I'm also from New York, so so yeah. But yeah, we're super pumped you guys are here.
Awesome.
So in my head getting ready, I have been saying your name 100% incorrectly the entire time. So I watched a video and I'm still saying it wrong. So how do you pronounce your name?
Renly.
Renly. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna forget that in 3 minutes.
So, no, wait, it rhymes with memory,
Oh.
Renly,
Okay.
right?
So
Renly, Renly.
Renly, how are you feeling about your first convention appearance?
I love it!
Yeah.
Oh, really? I had no idea.
Yeah. Yes. I did a screening of Hackersville in Massachusetts a few days ago when our anniversary came out, but this is like the first convention, you know.
That's exciting though that it's your first one
It
in hot Arizona.
It sure is, and it's really special because it's my third time here. I've
Okay.
been here when I was in my late teens as a performer with a group called City Kids that we used to do all these kinds of wonderful performing things. So I was in Sedona
Mhm.
and then also in Phoenix, but where the Biosphere is at.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know where that is.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just so happy to be here. Yeah.
Well, we're happy to have you.
Thank
Yes, thank you, both of you.
Yeah, I'm happy Ren's here too. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah.
Old buddies, very old buddies, so it's nice. This is my second one, so it's nice.
Yeah.
It's really, yeah, it's awesome because, yeah, it's a weird, like I said, it's a weird job because, you know, you're waiting a lot.
Mhm.
Also, you spend a lot of time out in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Is anybody feeling this? Does anybody remember? And then it's nice when you get feedback, you know, and it's not like a play. At the end of a play, you get to take a bow. You never take a bow. You know? You just rap, and then you're like, thank God that's over. And then maybe a year or 2 years later, it comes out, and then the shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Are we cursing here?
No, yeah, we're cursing.
Okay.
There's no fucking kids here.
Just-
And I like how conventions can bring like you guys back together, or the reunions that we see at conventions. Like I love how it brings people back, and we get to witness it firsthand.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, we were discussing this. We both fucking love Hackers. I mean, like, when it came out, like, it was just iconic. Like, the music, the costumes. I mean, you even dressed super, both of you dressed cool now anyway, but like, was it like as much fun shooting it as it was for us to watch the movie?
Yes.
Okay, because it looked like you guys were having a fucking blast. Like,
We indeed were having a blast. It was also, you know, when you're young, everything is a certain way.
Yeah.
So we're all around the same age. Up until then, I was always the youngest person on set. It was nice being with people my age, around my age. I think I was the oldest, so for once, so that was different. But to shoot in your hometown, there's nothing like it, right? Nothing like shooting at home. You know, Broadway, the Village, and Battery Park, you know, just to be able to do that, you know, the place where you were dreaming about doing exactly this, you know, when I was a kid, I'd always see, you know, movies, you know, movie productions, and just like, oh, I want that so bad, and then to actually get it with this particular group of people, and this project was perfect, because not all projects, you know, are close to your heart, you know. This was definitely, you know, we're all friends for life, and just like you said, fun. is the
Yeah.
main word. I mean, yeah, I think it really, it comes off the screen, you know, because he's capturing this time in these young people's lives. So we were young people. There's not that much acting required, I don't think. You know? So yeah, definitely fun. More fun than other things for sure.
yeah. And I love too, you mentioned like New York, like the Village, like it's different back then in the 90s, you know, like.
Yeah, it's such a time
Yeah.
capsule, is that what they call
Yes,
it? Yeah.
exactly.
Or even like there's a scene where I'm hustling, playing chess in Washington Square. That's still there.
Yeah.
I think I was there the other day, and you know, you walk around. There's memories. I mean, for us, like movies are like memories. You know what I mean? It's not like I remember as a piece of work, but more like, oh, this is where we were doing this, so forth. And then of course, were you there for the top of the Empire State Building? That was that's one to remember for sure. Being on top of that was nuts.
Yeah.
So windy. I mean.
Oh, I bet.
And I think Matt kept wanting to kind of go further, like, no. They had, the official
Of
people
course.
there. were-
Of course he would be the one.
Yes.
Was he? Oh my goodness.
He kind of wanted, he wanted to kind of go a little.
Like near what? Fall off the edge of it?
Well, he wanted to be like, it was like an antenna thing. He was like, wouldn't it be great if like one of us was? I was like, don't look at me.
No.
It was windy and cold. I was just afraid of fall. I mean, just awesome. Yeah. And I had my folks come down. They'd never seen me at work before, so
Oh, that's
it was awesome.
cool.
But of course, the day they came when we got arrested. My dad's watching them put handcuffs on me, and I'm like, they're paying me, Dad. It's like, this is
It's
what-
not real.
Right. That kind of thing. It's fun, yeah. And it's almost like you get this, like a diplomat, kind of, Everywhere, anywhere I go, they've seen it, there's a smile and it's an immediate conversation, or it's really nice to have that, because I'm very introvert, so it's nice to not have to make the first move, or whatever it is. So that's, what I love about it.
Does anybody in the audience have any questions?
Lauren.
Yeah.
I have one. Sometimes when you're making a film, you can tell that you have something really special that's going to like stand the test of time and it's going to be like a cult classic. Did you guys feel that, or was it just kind of like another movie, but did you know it would have like a lasting kind of effect? Did you know that there was like magic there?
Yes, I think so. I think did we just touch on that? I touched
Yeah,
on
we
that just
actually-
earlier.
We're saying, can you believe that, would you have known, how many years
Right.
is it now?
Oh yeah, because we mentioned, right, we were talking about how when we did the movie, and I got a sweet story about Angelina too that you guys reminded me of when we were doing the first rehearsal together, right? But what I was saying to him earlier, which was a feeling we had, that we knew we were doing something special, but I said earlier, which is what actors sort of do by, sort of like a code without even realizing, but you don't ever talk about the future, like, oh, this is gonna be a hit, we're gonna rock it. Like any actor that does that is like, you never been into an audition and been like rejected, right? Because how many times do you go for something great, that you did great, and you did, so we're not in a business predicting is like
No,
the things
that's a
you
good
do.
way of putting it, yeah.
Right? And so like,
No
but we
predictions.
knew, we knew the feeling was good, and so we were just happy, and that's why
Happy.
I love,
That's
I
the
love
word.
that, but it
That's
was.
a good indicator.
That's a good indicator. And then we knew that we were very fortunate people, because come on, it was a studio film and we were young actors, so we knew that we're kind of doing like the new 16 Candles. Right? Is this really what we're doing right now? But we know obviously it's a studio film, so we knew that was there, but we all, I think, had in common the like humility about it, right? Nobody was ever like, we're doing this, like there was no like attitude or anything. And then I love that Angelina, because in film you don't rehearse much anyway, or maybe you might do the scene once or twice for the set would be very fun, but that's not really a rehearsal. It's more for them just to see what they're about to film, so like we got in a little bit of rehearsal because we had to rollerblade rehearsal practice. And then one day that night where we just knew each other like 2 days, Ian said, oh, let's try a scene. And again, in film it's weird, like they don't tell you, like they usually let you do the scene. They don't say like, you're gonna walk in and you sit on this line. You're gonna do it and you pick up your car. So it's really like a lot is on you, you know what I mean? Like, so we do the practice. Remember, we did like whatever
I
scene
don't
it
remember
was.
things.
Yes,
So-
we did. I think it was our first practice scene was the scene where Angelina catches us in her bedroom where we're on her computer.
Oh, that was a funny scene.
That little
for sure.
intro. And so
That's
after we
funny.
finished, and after we finished, Ian said, well, let's take a 5-minute break. And we never rehearsed it again. We just did that one scene for him, I guess. And he wasn't trying us out. Again, it was just to do something, right? So then we all sat out on a fire escape. It was one of those buildings in New York where the door opens and then there's like a mini box and then there's stairs. It's not like a big long one, but it was like a box out of the door. So all of us in the cast sit together and we're all quiet. And Angelina goes, it's gonna be good. And we were like, yeah. And so that was the one moment. I don't know if you remember that.
No, I don't. But everybody else, this is great.
Because it was so cute. Isn't it cute? You love it?
Great story.
Yes, great stories. But it was
That
like
was.
cute. She was so quiet and she was like, it's gonna be good. And we were like, yeah, because we had all gotten to work, you know, and
That was a funny scene. You mean when they're making out, that scene?
Right.
That's when the whole like Three Stooges thing started happening, because I've never done that kind of work before, or comedy, and just like, oh, her, what was it? I can't remember the line.
yes.
Her hardware matches her software, whatever.
Yeah.
Hilarious. I mean, Matthew was always kind of spearheading that, so it was just kind of trying to be, as
I
far.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a feeling of like a group, maybe a band would feel. So I think that was important as far as how it came out.
Mhm.
This whole camaraderie, we're a family kind of thing.
Yeah, and then I
There's
liked,
a lot of that.
and that just what you were doing now. I remember we used to like the jargon, like when you would have to talk. Oh, it's only whatever megabytes. We'd be like, what are we saying again? It's 25.3 megabytes. Okay, that was really funny.
Well, and look at you guys now. It's almost been 30 years, and you're sitting at a convention talking to fans who still watch the film.
Which is nuts. Yes.
I mean, but who doesn't like to watch Angelina Jolie?
Right. Oh, so funny, but yeah, the jargon was just a lines period. I mean, my hugest flub. I love bringing up flubs, but
Yes, tell us.
I drove everybody nuts with this. It was the party scene. I'm supposed to be DJing. We have all these extras, all these kids from London who we'd never seen before. They had no idea what was going on. So my line is that I've got photogenic. I kept saying, see how I stalled. I have photographic memory, and they're like, no, not photographic memory, photogenic. Right, photographic means something else. So I just kept saying it. Every time I'd say they have to cut, everybody's dancing, they have to stop dancing. And I could see all the extras kind of looking at me like, maybe I could take his spot. It's kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that, but you were making a
it's
bigger deal
nerve-wracking.
out of it. You were like so annoyed with yourself, and nobody really
Because I'm a
cared.
perfectionist.
He's like, oh, it's and he was like, you got it, and whatever. But I
I
remember
picked
that.
the person with the weakest memory too. To have photogenic. Said it again. Photographic.
Yeah.
That haunted me for years. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's obviously still haunting.
Yes. That's why I brought it up. I like to face my.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta
Face-
walk through the fire.
There you go.
I'm glad that we could help you through that.
I mean, look at these chairs. They are like therapy chairs,
They
right?
are.
Give me that Matrix kind of feeling.
So you mentioned rollerblading through New York, so that scene. How was that? And did you know how to rollerblade prior?
None of us could skate.
Really?
I think Matthew actually.
I was gonna say
I think he played hockey.
yes, but
You did
I
have
did
a
pretty good too with the skates. I was the only one that didn't fall, if you remember, up until
No, I don't remember
yeah.
that.
No, I did fall, but I did fall. That's my point. Because so we're doing the rollerblading stuff. I was doing pretty good. I used to be very sort of cat-like with my reactions, which why I didn't fall. So that's why I remember Angelina said at one point, she said, I don't know what it is you've done before, but you're not falling because it's whatever you've done. Whatever. But because I would just be like, on the skates, And so then I didn't get to fall. But one day, weeks later, when we were actually shooting, I had a whole bunch of stuff I was balancing from food and orange juice and all this other stuff, and there were wires. And during when we were filming the scene in Washington Square Park, where I tell Joey that we got a tail, and so I slipped on the wire, and all the things went flying in the air, and I busted my knee. So
Ooh.
I joined the club. Yeah. So that was that.
Yeah, it was very nerve wracking. So we'd meet at Battery Park every morning, right?
Yeah.
And, we had all the helmets and knee pads and shin guards, wrist guards, and so forth. And we had, I think he was ex New York Ranger, the hockey team, was training us. So we'd meet and skate around, and everybody must have been wondering, who are these people? Why are they? Are people actually paying for this? You know, it looked like a class. So we do that, and then the actual shoot was like what, Fifth Avenue, Park Avenue South, like right in the middle. I mean, traffic was insane. That was a really insane day. So I mean, if you look at the movie, by the end we were all pretty damn good. So it's reverse. So by the end, we're still newbies. By the end of the movie, and in the beginning of the movie, we're better. Then we shot in what was it, Penn Station?
Yes, you guys shot.
Yeah, we did
my
some
character
crazy
was
stuff in Penn
yeah.
Station, which was fun. I think that's when I started getting crossovers finally. So I did a crossover on camera. I'm
Right.
so excited.
That's right. They taught us to things like the crossover
Yeah.
when you're going across. Then there's the back a little bit.
Yeah, I started
And then-
getting backwards. And then when we got to London, it's all cobble street, which sucks.
When we had to go back, we had to practice holding each other's hands, going forward and then back. And you know who my partner was? Do you know who my partner was? Angelina Jolie. So we had to hold hands and go back and forward.
It's gonna be so different watching this now.
That's how it is for us, yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Oh, that's where I had a toothache.
Did you?
Yeah, I had a
I'm starting to get-
severe toothache in London,
Oh.
which sucked. Yeah, and they were like, we got to do something with this kid. I was starting to get an abscess, and yeah, it was horrible. So I was like pulling my dreads down over my face, basically. So they sent me to the best dentist in London. I mean, the absolute best. And the joke is, so I go see this guy, and afterwards he's like, when you get back to the States, mate, you might want to see a dentist. I was like, wow, you're supposed to be the best. And he said, when you get back, see a dentist. I was like, wow, that's messed up.
Thanks for nothing, sir. Cheerio.
Yeah, so little things like that.
Yeah.
Which comes with the job, it's, showbiz, the show must go on kind of thing, which is kind of liberating sometimes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. London was interesting because, yeah, the streets were all cobblestone, which were not easy to rollerblade.
It's not even so easy to walk on cobblestone, let alone skate.
I don't think I could skate even if it wasn't cobblestone.
Yeah.
So we kind of mastered it as it went out of style. Nobody was blading by the thing.
But was it pretty
I
new
didn't-
at the time? I think it was new when we were rollerblading. And I
Super
think
new.
it was pretty.
Yeah, I remember I went to a rollerblading store on 72nd Street.
Yeah.
Very.
Oh, back in the
I
day.
feel like I know
They
what
really
you're
had
talking.
high
It was like a
hopes for
skating
it.
store, right?
They
I
had
know what you're
on
talking
72nd
about.
Street.
Yes.
Yeah, they had really high hopes. It was going to be like the new
The
skateboard.
newest big thing,
they
yeah.
really,
And then it closed. in
I'm
like
pretty
a
sure
year
they were
and a
ready
half.
to do some shit. They were probably good planning, marketing, probably.
Yeah,
Sure.
but I think today people use rollerblades, right?
I
Not
still,
roller skates.
I still see people. Yeah.
Do they?
They do
Yeah.
both.
I don't-
There's
I
a lot
don't
of roller
exercise,
skating
so-
going on now.
Yes, it's
Which
both
I
both
tried
right?
and didn't go. I had to get one of those little kids things.
The walkers.
Yeah, the little walkers. I'm like, I'm doing great. They have that now. Little.
No.
Yeah, they can go to like a rink. They have these like little like walker things.
Oh,
I'm at that age that if I fall and get hurt, I don't bounce back.
But I think the thing that's now is the scooters. Everybody
yeah,
Yeah.
knows
pretty
now.
big, yeah.
Yes.
Or the one wheels.
Mm-hmm. The
Which
one
I think is way
wheels.
more cyber. The fat wheel.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried one of those very hard. Yeah.
I would fall.
I
Yeah,
don't know
you're
what
supposed to lean forward, I think, to make it move.
What?
It's
I
very,
feel like I would just lean too far.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
try and do like.
very counterintuitive. I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly what you don't want to do.
Right.
Which is what you got to do.
So, what's the one line from the film that fans ask you to say?
Oh, I don't think I have one.
Well, that's a
No one's
shame.
No, I don't think anyone's ever asked me to say it online. But I will say, sorry.
Well, I think my character was very particularly supposed to be witty, and the witty one, the mouthy one. So I have a lot of like lines that people do. He's looking at me like, "Oh, really?"
I can
Excuse
tell
me,
you
Jerko.
were excited to say, like, I have one.
Yeah.
You don't have one.
Well, I have a few, like, well, one that people really, really love, of course, is it's in that place where I put that thing that time. Right?
Yes.
And then I have Arrest Me Already.
I love that scene.
And then, well, I don't know why they love the book. What's your interest in Kate Libier, academic or purely sexual? Then there's, what's the other one I get? Hack the Planet. People don't tell you to say Hack the Planet all the time. Hack the Planet. Oh, I'm the Freak, the Phantom Freak, the King of IMAX. That one I get all the time as well. And there's like one or two others that I you know, was lucky enough to get to say. So.
We have it. I mean, I think I changed a lot of lines, and I think when we discover who he is, I was like, I thought you were black. I totally. He's like, I knew that wasn't in the script. Yeah. I had an agenda, but because I felt like, you know, how would we know anything? There wasn't any, you know, any video, so all we had were these handles, these usernames. So I just figured that would make sense. So I did a lot of that. So Ian was let us kind of do what, like you were saying. He gave us a lot of freedom, which is the best thing for an actor, I think. I think when they micromanage you too much, they can take the air out of it. So I think that's why maybe it has a little more balance, even still now. You know, we were really doing whatever we wanted. I mean, you know, I would steal something any chance I got. I think there's a scene when we get arrested and Kate comes in. Just as I'm turning, she hugs me. Just as I turn, I grab a floppy disk and put it in my pants, and they kept it in the movie. I was so happy. I got it. Yeah.
Is there anything from set that you guys kept?
No.
Like, did you take any floppy disks?
Oh no, we did get one gift though. Do you remember? We got to keep, which I still have, our rollerblades.
Like I said, yeah, I did keep it.
Yeah.
I messed
Well, you
mine
can bring
up.
it back then.
Well, I know, you know, it's funny, I never used them, but I have them, so they look brand new. I never used them, I think. I
Definitely
probably
don't.
went rollerblading once
Really?
on those. And
I kind of picked it up afterwards, but yeah,
Yeah.
I got more. I tried to get more aggressive with it.
So you probably burned yours out.
Yeah,
You don't have your pair anymore, you
totally
see.
damn. Yeah, the wheel came off or whatever.
What?
Yeah.
That's aggressive.
That sounds pretty
Right.
He went for the rollerblading.
You went hard.
Yes.
I was very active. Yes.
Well, you were a messenger, a bike
Yeah.
messenger when we did
I wasn't
the movie,
afraid of the
and
streets,
you
which
kept
you
from
should
that.
be. You should be afraid of the streets.
Yes.
You get hurt. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyone in the audience have any questions?
Lindsay.
Of course, Lindsay.
Your guys' clothes that you wore, like, were those like your guys' wardrobe or like, cause the outfits, especially your outfits, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Your outfits too, like, did you guys get to pick out or?
Not at all. Which is because in filmmaking, there's the process of that all movies basically have, which is that the audition happens. You bring the inner life to the role, and that's what you get hired off of. And of course, if you look wide, you know, as well the role. And then your first thing that comes before you shoot is your scheduled hair and makeup and costume appointments.
Yeah,
right?
you go to your fittings
Your
and
fittings.
see what fits, what you hate.
Yes, and there you're just like, as a professional, you know, unless you want to make some enemies, because you know these people work very hard at what they, you know, they were pulling their hair out for 5 months, 7 months,
Right.
whatever, how long the movie.
If you're smart, you make
Yeah.
friends with them,
Right.
and
And you're
you can,
nice about
you can
it.
like strategize to lobby. You know,
Yeah, but I don't say
show the worst one first, and then let the director feel like it's his idea. Oh, that's the one. That's the one. That's the one you had
Really?
in mind the whole time.
Yeah, but you,
Right.
I'm 99%, as you know, you don't say nothing. I mean, you just go in there and you let them, you know, you don't even, that's not even your day. Like, you're an actor and, you know, like, that's their day. So you just go in and they throw things on you and they talk about you and you pretend you're not there because you don't want to, like, influence too much because you want to be surprised. I guess that's how I feel as an actor, you know. I want to see what they're going to put on me, and I have to sort of become as well, you know. So that and I am very different than the Phantom Freak, even though we have what we have in common is eccentric artistic taste, but that was all coincidence. Like that was just, you know, I remember for the audition I wore which back then was very controversial to do, but I did wear a marijuana shirt, which I think that let the director know that I was a little bit out of the ordinary. But that's what I wore. But again, it was, you know, Phantom Freak didn't even have the marijuana thing going as well, you know, so it was like they did their own thing. And it was really cool because they were so dedicated to, because and that's the beauty of giving them room, because they're artists as well, and they really put a lot of time into his photographic.
Don't mess with
I'm
me. I'm never gonna get that line.
Right?
He's still haunted.
Yes. And then, you know, my themes were leopard and 1950s suit things going on, right? And then Laura Matthews was very inspired by the kids from the Lower East Side, the grunge kids, the squatters that were homeless pretty much. And then Angelina was like a cyber girl, you know, so they all had, and then Joey was again the young kid that smokes too much, that just like is a fan of all things that are like, you know, pop culture or whatever. And that's how they did it. And then, so we were all, Angelina was upset one time about One Piece that I was in the room with, which is so funny.
Which piece?
Well, because they have they have everything in trailers, right? And then it's like a big trailer truck with all the stuff, all our clothes. And what they also do is like, so that day of the fitting, they take you in several Polaroids, and then those, like he's saying, the director picks his favorite picks, and that's it. That's your clothes, you know? So but then one or two outfits sometimes, they won't have that, so they'll surprise you that they're like, oh, by the way, we were thinking of this, right? So we were in there one day, they were throwing stuff on me, and then they threw on the outfit that's pretty. I don't know where she wears it, but they basically had a jock strap for her to put on.
Oh, no, I remember that. Yeah.
And she didn't like the idea. She was like, I don't know if I want to wear
I
that.
remember
And they were like, oh, come on, it looks great. And she was just like, and that was it. But that was the only time. And she wasn't even that pushy about it. She was just like, because it was really fashion forward for back then. You know what I mean? And she's like, a jock strap? I'm a girl. Like, okay, but, you know, that was the one time that anybody said anything. But that was it.
I think it was more like a fencing thing.
It was a fencing
Yeah, I'm
thing
not sure.
going
I don't think
on.
it was a jock strap.
It was but it was a guy's piece. No,
It was like a cod piece.
It was a cod piece, like whatever. Is that what they call it? What do they
Yeah.
call it?
It's a cod piece. It was
Cod,
like, it was
I don't
like
wanna
a red
say the word.
leather.
It was a piece that, you know, made it look like she
Cod,
was,
yeah,
like, you know,
yeah.
for a man's groin, not a girl's groin. So she was like, all right, you know.
And I think that was with the. It was
But it
kind
looked so good on her.
It was like
She
a,
did know.
she could pull anything. It was like a fencing. It was like
Yeah.
a fencing.
Yes, and I think she wore it anyway. But you know, she was a little like, are you sure? Okay, you know.
Yeah, we put a lot of trust in them. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, they definitely had their ideas on their pictures months before we ever got there. So
Yeah.
it's like those color forms. Remember the color form? You put the little. That's what it was like. You know, we are the product, and then just, you know, put it on, and just looking good. You know, so that's fine. Lot of work.
Because didn't Johnny, what was it, the dream scene, and he's wearing like this, like, what is it, like leather or something like that? Like,
Yeah,
crop
pretty
top,
kinky,
too.
yeah,
Right? Yeah,
the outfits
Yes.
were like, whoa, I liked them.
Yeah, they were really cool how they just mixed gender. And
Well, they
we're
did.
thinking
Yeah,
about
they
time,
obviously
you know?
did those scenes on there. We weren't working that day, so had no. It was a nice surprise when we finally got to see it. Because the whole time they're just like, you know, chasing each other or so forth. You know, to finally get together, which is my favorite. I love the ending so much. I think it's so romantic in the pool. I love that scene so much. I think it's one of the sweetest things, which was did not know it was going to end that way, which was really nice. And that's what's the song? I can't remember the song that goes with the ending. So I thought it was so well
It's
done.
perfect though. Yeah, I
it's
can't,
so
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
And they're on the pool, on the roof, and we're pulling out. I love that so much, which is nice.
Huh?
I think married in real life.
At the time, I
You
think
were
so.
married in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh.
They were, he was courting during the filming, which was sometimes,
Awkward.
yeah.
For you,
Which-
I didn't care.
Yes, there was weirdness, but it was all, it all worked under all worked under the script, which was fine. It must have been weird shooting with all these dudes for her. She's with one of the boys basically for a while, but we knew it was gonna happen. I mean, this happens all the time on sets. So,
And she's Angela.
but it was beautiful. What was that?
And she's Angela.
Well, this was way back.
I mean, that's the moment, like,
Yes.
when you know you're gay, type of
Oh, I love it.
thing. Any other audience questions, please?
So in the movie, they both have a competition between each other, but at the end it says that you guys couldn't decide. But what if you had to decide who won the competition? Who would you have picked?
To be honest, I really lost track of the competition after a while. There's so many tasks. I was like, I don't know who's winning. I have no idea.
That part's funny, I know.
There's
Well, I would say
so many tasks.
Angelina.
I see how you're moving because when this all comes up, she goes, "Oh, Renly was completely."
I was with that, actually.
That.
No, but I just liked her. I think she would have won because she was. That was the funny thing in the movie, that she was always like putting him in check, like
Yes.
mess with the best, die like the right. You know what I mean? So I think she would have won.
I couldn't keep track of that.
Yeah.
It's like now we're. What do they call it? Dumpster diving.
Yeah.
Dumpster diving. Not fun. And then yeah.
I just remembered that I had an AOL screen name that was Crash and Burn. I thought it'd be funny if I was like, yeah, I'm gonna spell it with a K. Put a capital and lowercase. It was the 90s. I just randomly called. Questions?
Yes, questions.
Actually, I got a comment. I just wanted to say that.
Yes.
That was your reaction that actually solidified in the movie the group of characters. It was when Matthew Lillard asked to crash at your place. Like, and you're like,
Yeah, that was a tough
when
one.
you're like, again, all right, yeah. So I'm like, I want to be with this group of people.
Exactly, yeah. It was a little weird for me figuring that out where I fit in because they were all in high school and my character was not supposed to be in high school. He lived on his own, so I wasn't sure. And then Matthew, to his credit, came up with this kind of roaming. Would you call it homeless before? I'll use the word roaming, kind of free spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, well, here's a place to show where the love is for each other. These aren't complete. This is something that happens all the time, which I did at that age.
Yeah.
Couch surf constantly. You go to the one guy who's got his stuff together. You end up spending time there a lot. So just to keep it, fun. I mean, Matthew was really fun. I mean, just to try and match him on that. I mean, when it came out with the hood down, I was like, okay, this is my entrance. This is it.
Yeah.
We don't know who this guy is yet. I still can get away with anything.
Exactly.
And that was to show that, he's still a fun guy. He's not so serious or whatever. So, because usually I play the heavy, so I was just enjoying that for a change, to be able to be silly,
So that was an improv line when he said, "Can I stay at your place?" Or was that in the
He
script?
kind of added it, yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. Because he started carrying a toothbrush around, which I knew guys who used to do that. They were such studs. They're so confident that they just leave the house with a toothbrush on a Friday because they know they're going to be set all weekend. Yes, the same?
That's pretty far out, but
Yeah, he did that. So that was his character. So I was like,
yeah.
he needs a place to.
Now, did they give him the toothbrush though? Or
I
did
think
he have it?
he did we did whatever we wanted.
Yeah.
Whatever somebody didn't notice was what we would do, basically. Yeah.
I love that. Other questions?
I'll do it again.
Yeah.
So you guys talked about so many great scenes and moments that have happened in the film, but do you have a particular scene or moment that you guys love the most that you've done?
Oh, when we did the I would it was a lot. Everything was a lot of fun. But I think one of the things that comes back, I guess, is like that scene at Cyberdelia when we're all talking and Joey brags about having broken into
Right.
the thing and all that.
It
That
was
like,
fun
a
being in the
group.
physical place that they built, which was awesome.
Yeah, and
You
we
know,
were like floating,
like a
remember,
dream,
over the
yes.
Cyberdelia. Because why? I wonder why did. I guess it was because Cyberdelia was designed to have like pods or something like that. Because remember,
No
we were
idea.
floating on something that. Remember, we were above the ground. We weren't like.
It's like
some-
suspended.
It was
thingies
like
that-
the we were like on stilts or something. I don't know the and like a platform. The couch we were on and talking about all our business and the books that were everything was like on a platform in the pool that we were in for some reason.
I'm sorry, I'm no help.
That's okay. That was one of the things that I remember because we were not on the ground. And if you remember that scene, if you see it, we are sort of above everything in the club, and it was because they had built something that we all went up on. I guess there were stairs or whatever, and then we sat on it, and we were sort of in, suspended in air. Yeah, all of us.
I'd have to watch that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, like I said, I do love the ending. I think it's a perfect ending. I love that ending so much, which I wasn't in, but I kind of get a little choked up when I see the ending. I think it's so sweet when they finally get each other, and you pull back and you want to know what happens to them, That feeling is, I think that's, I had a teacher who always said, always leave them wanting more. So I think that they really hit that note with that. The funniest scene, this scene you brought up earlier, was the funniest to do when she's making out with Ethan
Brown.
Right, Jackson Brown's kid, right.
Yes.
That was hilarious. I mean, we're like three knuckles heads in the corner, trying to hide. They can totally see us, so we're cheating it that she can't see us. So she's supposed to be taking off her clothes, and we're supposed to be, high school guys, just like, this is our like homeboy, like making out with this guy. So we kept cracking up. We could not get it. It was hilarious.
Other questions?
I actually have one. So how was like the audition process? Like how did you guys get involved with the film?
Well, I'm a little jealous because you mentioned you auditioned a few times. Because I frankly didn't audition for it. I had a meeting, which was
Okay.
strange. I got a call to meet Ian. So on my way there, luckily, there was like a magazine on the train. And I started looking at it. And it happened to be about, the story was about these African scammers, which was just starting back then. So I actually had something to talk about when we got there because I didn't know much about it. But I was always a sci-fi kind of cyberpunk kind of leaning towards that, reading a lot of William Gibson and stuff like that. So when I got in the room, we had a great conversation about all that stuff. And it was a really nice talk, and that was it. And a year later, I got a call and they said, do you have a passport? I booked it. So a year later. So I completely forgot about it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I never got to go in with the paper, or the script, or read for it.
So that means he really must have fallen in love with him because the directors don't usually do that.
Yeah.
I think they were desperate for a black guy. They needed a black
Oh.
guy.
I mean, it's funny to hear you say that, but we all know, right, that there are many, many black actors doing many, many great
Right.
roles out there. So to get one is hard. It's very competitive
Yeah.
for black actors. So
I talked to him about it once. He said, which was a really sweet thing to say. He said, you can play many things. You can't play intelligent. He said, you just came off as intelligent. This guy needed to be smart. So that was that for him. So that was a good compliment, which was nice. But instead of acting up a storm, which I never got to do, so which was probably for the best. So
Yeah, I'm recalling actually though. the
what did you
process.
do? Did you do an actual scene? So
Yes. But it was
okay.
interesting as well because the fact that you brought up that it was a year thing, I remember
so long.
how that
I totally
makes sense.
forgot about it. I was like, what is that?
Right.
They're like, you
Because-
auditioned for it. I was like, I don't remember auditioning
Yeah.
for anything.
Well, because what happened was initially the casting director for that film was Mally Finn. I don't know if that's probably when you had gone in, who was a woman that did a lot of big successful movies. And so when you knew you were going in for her, it was gonna be so now I'm remembering even more. It was for my callback for the role of Robin, which she was casting Batman.
Wow.
Oh wow.
And I go in, and I'm here to try to be Robin. You know what I mean? And so I'm in there, and I'm ready to go.
You were pumped.
Right, I was pumped, and then she's like, listen, there's this film I got for you. Whatever, she pulls out this script, she pulls it out, and I'm like, thinking, I'm here for Robin, what's going on, lady? You know? And then she's like, I got this thing, you're on the phone, you're whatever. And then it had all these zeros and ones on the covers, what I remember. And so I was like, ugh. That was like, come on, this is a star-making role here,
Right,
Robin.
that's interesting. So
And
it was like a bait and switch kind
It
of.
was a bait and
like.
switch, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get Robin after
Oh.
this. I can tell. She's like, not even talking. She didn't see me for Robin. She's talking about some film I don't even know what it is, and it's some hacking thing. And she says you're on the phone, whatever. I'm like, great, okay. So I walk out of there. She just gave it to me. I didn't even. So I'm a little bit like, well, but I was happy to go, but that didn't happen. And then she didn't even do the film. This other casting director ended up with the film, and then. That's when then months and months later, and then when I got the audition through this other person, I was like, oh, I remember this, right? That was that thing that she gave me, and I didn't get to be in Batman, and then she's like, and then so I auditioned for which was Diane Crittenden, and so she was the one that did the final casting, which it's a little trivia, but I think it's so cool. I don't know if you know this. She also cast Star Wars. Which is why she did such a good job with Hackers, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And I appreciate though that you got Hackers because I wouldn't have watched Batman and Robin. So.
Oh, thank you. See, yay, it worked out. Woo, woo. But that's how these things work out. It's so strange. And so, and then when I met Ian, being again, we actors do that. We think like, how are we gonna get this role? You know what I mean? So I thought, well, I'm gonna just wear my marijuana t-shirt, whatever. Then I read the scene, and then I did something else, which I think may have helped me get it, or he thought I was crazy, which was that I put my feet up on the desk, on his desk, and I'm talking. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I just wanted to show that I was a rebel. You know what I mean? And that I could be comfortable even in a film director's and whatever. I was like, so that's what happened there.
That was awesome. I love that. We have time for one more question.
I have to say, actually, as far as the casting, what an eclectic cast. You got Penn Jillette and Fisher Stevens as the baddies, or one of the baddie. Just it's like, what's
It was genius casting for
Yeah.
sure.
like the previous time I saw Fisher was, in Short Circuit.
Yeah.
It's a bit different there.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And then Lorraine Bracco, right?
Yeah.
She's awesome.
Any other questions?
Yeah, we have
One more.
I just would like to say thank you
Yes.
so much. You have made my life so much better. I
Aw.
love what you guys are my favorite movie, and I think
Oh, thank you.
so.
So
really
nice to hear
appreciate
because
that.
it's old.
I've watched it
Hey, now.
all the time.
Like my brother's a actual like, computer person. He's been ribbing me for decades.
Obviously, the technology.
What are you
has-
typing exactly? And I'm like, we're just typing, man.
Yes. Oh, goodness.
So, I mean, I guess that's what's the important thing is that feeling and it didn't just get dated, which was probably what would happen if there wasn't that emotion attached to it, which was nice.
And you guys still look the same.
Pretty much,
It's
you do.
unbelievable.
Thank you. A little bit, yes. I mean, I try to stay. I do work on it, like eating right, and I take collagen pills. I take, and I eat clean. You know what I
Sure.
mean? And green juice and all that. But he looks wonderful too.
I
His
just got
hair
good
changes.
genes. That's it.
Yes.
No work at all. Just really good.
Well, then
genes.
he's lucky, obviously. Yeah.
Clouds and rain and sun all the time.
Exactly.
There you go. Hydrating to live here.
Really good genes. So there's that.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming here. They're here all weekend, you guys. Renly and Lauren.
Sure, you'll
You're
think of something
amazing.
tonight. You'll be like, damn, I had them right there. I could have asked them right there. Yeah.
And thank you guys. Enjoy the weekend.
Duo photo ops
Thank
too.
you.
Tomorrow and Sunday they'll be doing duo photo ops.
That's
Some
right.
Singles or duos or both.
Yep. Okay.
All the photo ops.
Yeah,
All
you
the
guys
photo
are-
ops. Thank you.
Thank